Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. Bull Durham is a 1988 American romantic comedy sports film that stars Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins, Trey Wilson, and Robert Wuhl. The storyline goes that in Durham, North Carolina, the Bulls minor league baseball team has one asset no one can claim, that being a poetry-loving groupie named Annie Savoy, played by Susan Sarandon. As the team's season begins, Annie selects a brash new recruit named Ebby Lelouch, who she christens with the name Nuke. That character is played by Tim Robbins. She inspires him to experience the religion of baseball. Nuke also receives guidance from a veteran player named Crash Davis, played by Kevin Costner. He settles Nuke's erratic pitching and teaches him to follow the catcher's lead. The film's name is based on the nickname for Durham, North Carolina. You see, since 1874, when W.T. Blackwell and Company named its product Bull Durham Tobacco, which soon became a well-known trademark. Eventually, the company was sold and renamed the American Tobacco Company. By this time, the nickname of Bull City had already stuck. The movie's writer and director, Ron Shelton, played minor league baseball for 5 years after graduating from Westmont College in Santa Barbara, California, initially playing second base for the Baltimore Orioles farm system. He moved from the Appalachian League to California and then to Texas before finally playing AAA baseball for the Rochester Red Wings in the International League. He finally quit and gave up the game when he realized he would never become a major league player. He returned to school and earned a Master's of Fine Arts in sculpture from the University of Arizona. All this before moving to L.A. to join the city's art scene. But he felt more of a kinship in telling stories than creating art. His break into filmmaking came with script writing credits on the films Under Fire and The Best of Times. When Ron pitched the film to the studios, he had a hard time convincing a studio to give him the opportunity to direct it also. At the time, baseball movies were not considered a viable commercial prospect, and every studio passed on it except for Orion Pictures, and they ended up giving him $9 million as a budget to work with. They gave him an 8-week shooting schedule and creative freedom on the film. This movie's success helped spark a boom of baseball movies in the years that followed. Actor William O'Leary, who plays Jimmy, the Bible-thumping relief pitcher, had zero experience playing baseball, which was a requisite for all the cast members featured on the team. During pre-production, director Ron Shelton utilized time allocated for rehearsals to try out his new cast on the baseball diamond. He quickly zeroed in on O'Leary and watched him throw. He was absolutely appalled at what he saw. He immediately confronted the actor and told him that he had obviously lied to him at the audition, which caused the actor to confess. And he told the director that he was a quick learner and he could figure it out. Cast and crew reported that Shelton was absolutely livid when he uncovered this deception, but he did acknowledge that he still liked O'Leary's acting, so he resigned himself to make sure that Jimmy would never be seen throwing a ball in the film. This also caused the director, from this point forward, when casting sports movies, to require an athletic audition before the script reading test. The director cast Kevin Costner because of the actor's natural athleticism. Costner was a former high school baseball player and was able to hit 2 home runs while the cameras were rolling. He also insisted on throwing the runners out, even when the cameras weren't rolling. He also cast Tim Robbins over the strong objections of the studio. They wanted Anthony Michael Hall instead. Shelton had to threaten to quit the production before the studio backed off on this. At one point, Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis were considered to play the parts of Annie and Crash, but both of them had to decline because of their commitment to the TV series Moonlighting. They also thought about Nick Nolte and actually offered him the role because he was one of the biggest male stars at that time. He turned down that lead because he had just finished several movies back to back. But more importantly, he didn't like baseball at all. He just wasn't a fan of it, so he didn't feel comfortable doing it. The rainout scene in the film was based on an actual event that occurred. In the late 1960s, Ron Shelton played minor league ball in the Texas League. His team was in Amarillo, Texas, for a season-ending series. The night before the final game, he and some of his teammates and some of the Amarillo players were out partying and decided to go to the stadium and turn on the sprinkler system, thereby flooding the field and ensuring a rainout. However, the Amarillo team owner rented a helicopter, and they used that to dry the field out, and the game was played anyway. The billboard that you see offering a free steak if it gets tagged by a home run was created for the film. The real-life team kept it after the movie was over. They even moved it when they moved to a newer, bigger stadium. Even today, if a player hits the bull on the fly with a home run, he wins a free steak from a local restaurant. If the player hits the grass that the bull is standing on, he gets a free salad. Now, originally, the studio thought that Susan Sarandon was too old and not funny enough to play Annie, and that she basically didn't have enough sex appeal either. The producer of the film, Tom Mount, had Sarandon, who was 41 at the time of production, go to Orion Pictures and meet with one of the co-founders in his office. He told her to go in a tight dress and to lean over the desk for about half an hour. She showed up to the meeting with an off-the-shoulder red and white striped dress that was very form-fitting, bending over the executive's desk to just tantalize him. She knew exactly what she had to do that day, and she did it. Boy, if you want to see a really good movie and a really fun one to watch, check out this film. I'd forgotten how good it was. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.